The emissary of the Galactic Council stared at the human representative with what passed for bewilderment in their species. Ambassador Mark Collins sat calmly, hands folded on the table, expression neutral despite the increasingly hostile tone of the negotiations. Your species' continued refusal to surrender your outer colonies is both irrational and futile, the emissary stated, its translator producing the flat, emotionless voice humans had grown accustomed to. The Council has decreed these regions necessary for the greater stability of the sector. As I've explained 5 times now, Collins replied, his patience wearing thin beneath his diplomatic veneer, those colonies represent generations of human effort and sacrifice. We will not abandon them. The emissary's skin rippled with colors that the human translation software identified as contempt. Your species has been spacefaring for barely 2 centuries. The oldest members of the Council have batted the galaxy for millennia. You will comply, or measures will be taken. Collins leaned forward slightly. I strongly advise against testing humanity's limits. The warning went unheeded. 3 days later, the Galactic Council's enforcement fleet arrived at the colony of New Horizon. The colony's meager defenses fell within hours. Similar actions followed at 6 other human outposts. Admiral Jane Foster received the news with cold fury aboard the UES Defiance, humanity's newest dreadnought. They think we're like the Trolosians or the Vex, that will cave after a show of force, she told her officers. They don't understand what they've started. What the Council failed to comprehend was that humans had spent their entire evolutionary history pushing against limitations. Where other species evolved toward equilibrium with their surroundings, humans had always strived beyond their natural boundaries. They had conquered their planet, not through superior biology, but through relentless innovation and adaptation. Humanity's response began not with a massive military strike, but with something the Council considered impossible. 3 days after the attacks, every communication system across 2,000 light-years experienced a simultaneous intrusion. Human-designed AI constructs, more sophisticated than anything the Council had encountered, infiltrated the vast network that connected the galactic community. On the capital world of the Council, Elder Tholos received urgent reports from across Council space. Impossible, he muttered. Their technology is primitive by our standards. His aide's voice wavered. Sir, all defense systems are compromised. They're not attacking, merely demonstrating they could. Meanwhile, Admiral Foster led a small fleet to New Horizon. Instead of a frontal assault, human ships executed micro-jumps, appearing and disappearing faster than Council vessels could target them. They deployed advanced drone swarms that overwhelmed the occupying forces through sheer numbers and unpredictable behavior patterns. The beauty of being underestimated, Foster remarked as she watched the Council forces retreat, is the element of surprise. Across the galaxy, human diplomats delivered the same message to every species. We sought peaceful coexistence. We were rebuffed. Now you will understand why testing our limits was a mistake. The Council convened an emergency session. Elder Tholos spoke gravely. How could we have so badly misjudged them? Elder Velka, whose species had observed humans longer than most, answered simply, we assumed they thought like us. They do not. Where we seek harmony, they thrive on challenge. Where we preserve, they innovate. We push them, expecting submission. Instead, we awaken their defining characteristic. Which is? Asked a younger Council member. Defiance, Velka replied. Their entire history is a testament to it. Against nature, against limitations, against those who would control them. They warned us repeatedly. We chose not to listen. The human counteroffensive was precise and measured. They did not seek vengeance against civilian populations or destroy more than necessary. Instead, they systematically disabled the Council's military capabilities while broadcasting a simple message. We tested our limits. These are the consequences. In the Council chambers, previously dismissive representatives now argued for swift concessions. Some advocated for a full-scale war before humans became too powerful. Elder Tholos silenced them all. We have gravely erred, he admitted. For the first time in 10,000 years, we face a species that will not be intimidated or controlled through our usual methods. When negotiations resumed, Ambassador Collins faced a markedly different Council. We are prepared to recognize full human sovereignty over your colonies, the chief negotiator stated. We seek to repair the damage caused by our miscalculation. Collins allowed himself a small smile. Humanity does not seek dominance or revenge. We want what we have always wanted, the freedom to determine our own destiny. The treaty that followed became known as the Threshold Accord. It established humanity as equals within the galactic community, not as subordinates to be managed. More importantly, it served as a reminder to the elder species that age did not equate to wisdom, nor did tradition guarantee superiority. Years later, Elder Velka would write in his personal memoirs, "The arrival of humans forced a necessary evolution in our thinking. We had grown complacent in our ancient ways, believing our path was the only viable one. The humans taught us otherwise. They showed us that adaptation, not stability, is the true constant of the universe." Humanity continued its expansion, but now with the wary respect of the galaxy. They became known not for conquest, but for innovation, solving problems other species had long abandoned as impossible. And whenever a new species or faction suggested testing human resolve, a quiet reminder would spread through diplomatic channels. Remember what the Council learned too late. When humans warn you about their limits, believe them.